play some Modern Warfare right now, and just life kind of has me weirded out today, so I'm, basically gonna bitch about life and play this at the same time. There's just some things that don't make sense in this world, you witness it every day, public areas, anywhere really. Just things that don't make sense to you that prove that this world is not really a nice guy kind of world. It's always been a nice guy finish last kind of world. More so in this country than any other, I think, even though this country has a lot of supposed glory, right? Just every day at Walmart or wherever, any public area I go, I see things, and I'm not going to specify. I'm going to leave it up to ambiguity, because if I really got into specifically what I mean, I'd probably catch a lot of hate. But you see things that don't make sense. Things that, in an ideal world, certain people would get to enjoy certain things simply for being a decent human being. We don't live in a world, unfortunately, that people judge based on just sheer morality in and of itself. Like whether you're nice, whether you're caring, whether you're kind, whether you're amiable, or what else. We live in a world where, now when I say world, I basically mean the US, and maybe other countries as well, where you are born with this obligation to want to always augment and raise your social and economic status. And if you don't want that, then you're an outcast. And then, you're potentially an enemy. If you ever just want to grow up and have a peaceful life and be average. Being average has been proven throughout history not to be a bad thing. Being a bad person makes you a bad person, you know what I mean? Like your actual morality and how you treat people and whatnot. Not whether you're rich or poor or black or white or atheist or Muslim or Christian or any other thing like that. But we live in a world where in this country you're born and then you have this pressure on you to always want to be all that you can be, right? But that phrase, I feel like, has more than one meaning. Being all that you can be, in some cases, in some areas that you pursue in life, means other people are going to have to suffer in the process of you allocating that status. And when that happens, it becomes morally problematic, even if it actually starts to work out for you. You see it mainly with economic inequality and economic status. You see rich people who, whether they've worked hard or not, there are people that do, there are people who don't. But the people that do work hard for their rich status in life, I feel like they lose their soul in the process. Or they have to from the very beginning in order for it to work for them. And they start becoming less appreciative, way less appreciative of the very people that are the reason they're rich. The people who work for them, that produce the product that makes them their money or provides the service that makes them their money. It literally is like an economic version of the chicken or the egg. And I feel like the workers have that argument above the CEOs. But that a CEO of a company is my prime example of when pursuing your dreams means that you have to pretty much become an asshole in order for you to actually succeed. Now, very rare you don't, like in the case of Andrew Carnegie in history. right? He wasn't always a great guy, but he sold his railroad company and then used the money to better society, put that money into the public for help and other things. It's called philanthropy. And when he did finally have another company, he ended up paying his workers a fair and livable wage. So, life is indeed not fair, and there are those that argue that it was never supposed to be since the dawn of humanity. But economics is just one area that I see things every day that don't make sense, meaning the guy who's just a good person, like take that phrase that I'm saying at face value, that's simply just a good person, never murdered anyone, never raped anyone, never been a pedo, never been a high-end drug trafficker or a human trafficker, anything that really does conflict your morality. Someone that is clean in that regard, but they just so happen to be poor or work or even not want to work and live off of some kind of welfare program. We have a tendency to not judge by the fact that he's simply a nice person, but judge by his socioeconomic status and what he wants in life, and him not being at that status being his own fault, and he deserves to die or starve if he doesn't want to be like everybody else who's successful and rich and can afford, to spoil their affluent children their whole lives so they don't have to worry about what's right or wrong, and if they ever get in trouble, they have a fancy lawyer to get them out of everything. If you don't want that kind of a life, or if you're not that kind of a kid who has those kind of parents, then you just deserve to die and rot. And I thought that's not what this country was about. I thought this country was about unity, right? I thought it was about moral unity and people who were truly nice at the core. Simply that would finish first. Like that's the first step, but it's not. The first and only step seems to be just you're born, start talking about how you want to be rich and famous one day and have fancy shit, and you're going to do whatever you have to do, step on whoever you have to step on in order to get to that status. That seems to be what your default programmed goal is from birth in some way, whatever profession that leads you in. And I witness people like that every day. They walk around and you can just tell by their facial expression, by their wardrobe, by their actions, by their behavior, who they are. And it's sad. Oh. I wasn't raised to believe that modesty is a crime in this country, or being average is a crime in this country, because it's not, but we act like it is. And most people in this country who are of supreme status, they act like anyone that argues against that very status, that cliche life, that they are a potential enemy of the state, that they're a terrorist, or that's a terrorist mindset, or that's a commie mindset, or whatever else, right? But it's not. It's just simply a human mindset. And maybe one of these days somebody can come along, a good leader, that can steer us in the right direction. But I don't see that yet. I'm still witnessing all this affluent capitalist bullshit every day when I leave just to go to the store to get something. And I see a lot of other things beyond the economic arena of life that don't make sense as well, that seems to favor people of a supreme set, like people with supreme looks always get what they want in life in the area of romance and stuff. That doesn't make sense either. Another area in life that you would think just nice people and being nice and being caring and whatnot would make you eligible for a romantic union or whatever. But that's not the case once again. It appears to be economic status or looks or whatever else, right? Some kind of thing about you that benefits the other person, right? So, I'm living in a world where nice guys finish last or don't finish at all and are labeled as outcasts or whatever else. And, normally I don't go on these little socio-political moral tirades, but I feel like it was necessary today. And, I have to get that off my chest. I was raised to where you pursue a goal in life, right? You pursue it, a profession or whatever, but you don't lose how you got there in the process. You never forget. If other people helped you along the way, that you might owe them some form of appreciation, right? And not simply just a thank you, but if somebody helped me be a real estate tycoon one day, anyone that was involved in helping me get to that process, workers, friends, people with connections and calling people and helping me get interviews or whatever else, your job is to not lose sight of those very people that helped you in that process. And if you somehow manage to do it all by yourself, well, good for you, but you still have an obligation to appreciate those below you who are currently helping maintain that status, workers or the main people I'm talking about, or anybody else that might be helping you. But we don't see that nowadays. It's just, hey, I become rich for however way I become rich, working hard for it or inheriting it. Once they have established that supreme status, you see the absence of the soul at that point. And who knows, it could be gone forever. And it's a sad fact. And we saw the election of somebody who is like that in the U.S. And the other person wasn't any better when it was putting on a front about caring when that person did not either. But there was one person that really did only care about how good a person was, right? And wanted this country to be judged by how moral it is, and wanted people to judge other people and whether or not you get a job or whether or not you get this or that. The factors being whether you're morally clean or not your previous socioeconomic resume. Oh, I've done this and this and this and this and this before, and no. So okay, you get the job. The job should be, are you a great person? Have you ever done this and that and this and that? Like moral high crimes. And if you're clean, you should deserve a chance. It shouldn't cost anybody anything to at least walk up to the ladder, metaphorically speaking. It maybe should cost you some hard work to climb up the ladder, but it should not cost you anything to walk up to the ladder and get started. But it does, and that needs to be changed ASAP, or I feel like we're just gonna go along to the seventh stage of empires, which is collapse. Right now, it seems like we're in a state of decadence, and who knows when it's gonna, change, or if it's gonna take an end, some kind of apocalypse or whatever, for us to see that. And people say, well, greed and all this stuff that you're complaining about is human nature. And I feel like that's true, but I feel like human nature has another side that we can use to override the bad human nature, and that's a sense of reciprocity and a sense of abnegation, which I think if we didn't have those qualities, we would not have gotten this far as a species. So it had to have been a little bit of using cultural evolution to override certain aspects of human nature, because they are truly wrong, right? and replace it with new things that we can start to get used to and create a habit out of. And those new things, are judging people by how just nice they are and how kind they are, rather than how rich they are and how established they are. You know what I mean? So we're judging by the wrong things. We also judge by, and dumbass motherfucking people in this country where I live, the racist fucking Trump ass redneck fucks, they judge people not only by, what their status is, but by their race, or whether they're a Christian or not, or whether they wear certain clothing or not, or whatever else. Or if they are religious, what kind of God do they worship? Whether they wear, a towel over their head or whatever. People like that are different than the prototypical white male is basically viewed as inferior. And let's get real, that kind of behavior, that kind of pseudo bullshit and morality still does exist in small pockets. Just because we have fancy technology nowadays doesn't mean that, bad people have went away in that process. It has not happened. It may never happen all the way like it should, but we can combat immorality as much, as we can in order to establish a better world. And I feel like maybe in 2020 this country will have another chance to right a wrong that was created and get that out of the way. A step backwards is a step backwards nonetheless, whether it's a minor or a major step backwards. We're supposed to be going forward with more inclusion, forward with more better wages, forward with healthcare that can be affordable for everybody. We don't need healthcare in which your wallet size is the factor on if you're getting treated or if you're going to live or die. Or your wallet size or your already established or non-established social status in life is an indicator on if you deserve to go to a good school or not and get a good education past high school. We use all the wrong factors to judge people on. All the wrong. Now, I'm not saying people don't need to be judged. We must judge people and vet people, but we're using the wrong factors in that vetting process. Economic status, race, religion, sexual orientation, gender, everything. Those should not be factors that go into any logic of deciding who lives or dies, or who eats or who starves, right? Or who gets the handcuffs, the pepper spray, the mace, or the bullet, or whatever else at a traffic stop or whatever. You see it everywhere, right? And until that changes, I think our future is looking rather bleak if things remain the same for the next 10 years. So, it is what it is, I guess, right now. And leave it to just people like me who get on a video game and bitch about it to try to make sense of it. But like I said, every single day, and it's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm going to wake up and I'm going to witness something that just doesn't make any moral sense. And it hurts to even witness things like that, to even witness being around people that judge people by all the wrong things. And all the wrong people are getting ahead in this world that don't deserve it, right? And all the wrong people are getting certain perks in life that they don't deserve because they may be established, they may have been committed to their goal, but in that process they've lost their soul. They might have committed some moral crimes along the way, but that don't matter. Hey, this person's established their supreme economic status nonetheless, so we don't care about his morals along the way. We just, hey, he's there and he's famous and yeah. So, it's time to venerate that person. I just don't get all that, man. I just like, when are we going to live in the world where simply being a nice person, simply that, nothing more, nothing less, right, gets you ahead in life in whatever arena in life that you want to get ahead in, right? That you're only going to be judged by what's inside and by the crimes you have either committed or not committed, right? Not the money you've allocated or not allocated, or the social status that you've gotten or not achieved. When are we going to get to that? And I thought we were on our way to that, and then we are, taking a step backwards. It's supposed to be called moral progression, not degression, and I feel like that's what it is right now. And dealing with it just by, witnessing it and not wanting to bitch about it isn't working. It was going to come out one day. And, we used to actually have a thing we would say, and I don't remember the song or the tone of voice that we used, but when I was in preschool, back like in the early 90s, people would, we would make the classroom messy by playing around all day. It was basically just like a little play school, you know what I mean, daycare or whatever. And we would have show and tell, and we would have these little stupid little songs that would remind us that, we need to share, and that when we're cleaning up the classroom, everybody chips in and does their part. And I forget the song, but it was some stupid little cheesy cliche little song. But it was about a certain set of morality that the teachers were trying to raise us on and trying to, assimilate into our minds. And I seem to have gotten it when, most of the people that are now my friends on Facebook, right, that went to those schools with me, they seem to have, fallen into the cliche little, oh, all I want to do in life is be rich, no matter who I have to step on, no matter who I have to betray, and I just want to, like, get fancy things, be materialistic, and, if you don't want that, then you're a terrorist, and you're a bitch, and you're a commie, and you either want to be the best or you suck in life. And completely bullshit set of morals, in my opinion, and it always will be a bullshit set of morals, in my opinion. And I'm not the only one, and that makes me less depressed in this moment to realize that I'm not the only one. There's actually tens of millions of people in this country, and even more throughout the world, that get it, right? France, at least, did not let this stupid little conservative populist wave defeat them. The U.S. let it happen. Brexit was evidence that happened there, but not France. So I have to at least give a shout out to them for not letting little Miss Hitler into power, because that would have been some all-out shit right there. So yeah, if you're tuning in, I can't get my chat to load because my laptop's slow and my phone's slow right now, but I can't even read the messages that I see pop up, so it is what it is on that. Hang on, let me actually try to load. Maybe my phone will work faster. But I basically wanted to just make this I wanted to just bitch on camera about life and what I'm bitching about right now, but I wanted to have decided to have a video game in the background, you know what I mean, just so maybe I don't go too off the main stage. I don't think I have. I just think, if I was really going off the main stage, I would be like really yelling and trying to sound like a oh man, that's bro guy. That's not my stream. I need to bring up my own chat, but yeah, I would be like yelling, and I would actually, I would be sounding like a politician trying to recruit followers right now if I was really going off the main stage, trust me. And I've been in that mood to want to do that on here before, but I'll hold off on that. Gosh, I have to mute my own voice because that's kind of horrendous. Yo, what up, Goku? That's who's been messaging me. I don't know if you're back in party chat or not. But yeah, you could be out somewhere else on a YouTube app or some shit. But you're probably glad that you're not here listening to me bitch about all this shit. I've just like been dealing with stuff today in my own mind that just has gotten these feelings to want to come out. You know, I can't lie and say that, oh, I did not plan on bitching about all this when I started my stream. No, I planned on it. I planned on maybe people showing up and hearing it. Yeah, I can't lie about that. That is definitely something that I wanted to do. Oh, if I get this, wow, that'd be insane. But no, I didn't get it. I was about to say, if I got a long shot with an AKU, then damn. Rip that guy. What am I doing? 4 and 10. But, yeah, it's just saddening every day to know that we live in that kind of bullshit. So... Oh, you're not? Alright. You out at lunch or whatever, you like chilling with the fam, eating some awesome ass food that I want to eat probably. Even though I just got done eating. That's, you know what I mean, son? Oh, wait. He's right over here, I think. So, you know, in this game, bullets don't go through simple wooden fences. So, that's a thing now. Oh, hey, he's over there. Somebody already killed him. But yeah, man, even on here, right? Hang on. Even on here, right? To act like a time traveler for a second, there's certain things that if they would have ended up even slightly different, then I would not even be on here right now. I wouldn't have made the friends I've made here. Or certain friends from my real life. If certain things just would have went ever so slightly, and slightly might even be too great of a word. It could be more even nano than that. Like if ever so slightly, even less than that, if things would have turned out differently, then there would be no this moment, no kill greed bitching about all this shit. What the fuck is this? Oh, that message just now popped up, like on my PlayStation. I saw it in my chat, and then boom, it pops up that I got a third message. So rip the internet dream, I guess. Rip the internet dream. I figured Call of Duty would be a good game to have a backdrop on while I bitch about life and politics and morals and nice guys should be finishing first in life but aren't. I figured Call of Duty would be the perfect game to use that as a backdrop. Why not, right? I wasn't going to get on camera and show my face to bitch about it, you know? Even though that's what I wanted to do, was just make a really long fucking political ass blog or vlog, but fuck it, I figured I would stream a game while I did it. Why not this one? Because I love the graphics and I love my pretty little camo, because I love red and all that shit. Even though I'm getting the DSAT completely, I'm probably just going to continue to happen that way. Wow, that guy could not kill me. He had the drop on me easily. What a noob. So yeah, I just don't feel like specifying the other part of what I wanted to bitch about, because mainly I just made it an economic, political little rant, but there was another area of life that I wanted to, you know, bitch about. Basically the same kind of set of morals, people not judging by being nice, but judging by using the economic status that I complained about to go into how people judge in another area of life where it shouldn't matter. Look at this, look at this. Wow, somehow got him with a little fucking 9. Okay. But I'm not gonna go into that, even though I witness that every day. Well, I might go into it, who knows. Alright. I'll kind of go into it without going overboard, I guess, bro. I used to go to the mall all the time with my friends and whatnot, from 2004 all the way up until, I don't know, like 2010 or whatever. Then the mall, going to the mall and chilling all day, you know, stopped being a thing. I think it was just like a 90s kid thing, you know what I mean? And I used to see things that did not make sense, or what I thought did not make sense, but I ended up learning made perfect sense. And my buddies would be hanging out with me, and we'd be like sitting in the food court eating or whatever, and we would notice the prototypical hot chick with the prototypical negative, like, big dude, you know what I mean? And my buddies would be like, that don't even make sense. How does that even happen? And I was the only one out of that whole group sitting there that might have thought in their head, but didn't say it out loud because my friends would have grilled me. Well, because motherfuckers, he's probably at least a nice guy. You know, there's a girl there that did not use the bullshit factors we use to judge who gets to be in our lives, and she actually used actual morality. And, you know, he passed that test, and he has a chance with her now, you know what I mean? So, my friends are all surprised. Those friends still haven't changed. They're still motherfucking bitch-ass motherfuckers in that regard. Only people that go to motherfucking gym and have big muscles and are skinny as fuck, that's who deserves it. Not these fat motherfuckers. I deal with that shit day in and day out, right? And, so, I've become, you know, more real in that regard, like realizing that some people see the beauty within, i.e. morality, instead of the wallet or the muscles or the six-pack or whatever. That's bullshit. I think part of the reason why we are not as far progressed as a species as we should be, you know, it's because we're using the wrong ways to judge our romantic partners. That's another thing, not just economics, but that too. And it's just, you know, being an everyday witness to what I call hyper standardism, which meaning people just, we're born with these golden standards that we stick to no matter what, and, you know, our skulls are so thick that we're blind to facts and everything else, blind to indicators that we should change, and we don't. So some people have, for the better. So maybe that's why my, you know, stupid ass friends witness couples that they don't think make sense walking around the mall. Some people are actually making moral progress, you know, and they probably hate it. It's probably not American. It ain't American. If you're fat and you got a hot girlfriend, how does that happen? Oh my God, I work hard at the gym every day. It should be me. No, it should be whoever is nice, whoever is kind, bro. The only thing that should matter in that regard is hygiene. Other than that, you know, hygiene obviously should matter, but economic status and whether that person is big or not should not matter in general, because that's not an indicator of a fucking thing, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That's just, could be genetics. They could be born with the overactive thyroid or an underactive thyroid, or some reason why they can't shed weight or whatever, so they always might be like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, so some people literally might not be able to help it, you know? But that doesn't mean they should be excluded from romantic union, right? Excluded from a possible chance to, you know, keep their bloodline going, you know what I mean? Everybody deserves a chance for that, to have someone they can raise and be around and, you know, teach the right morals to. So you know what I mean. We need to multiply in this world, but we need to use the right factors to judge who gets to multiply, and those factors should not be who fucking looks like Brad Pitt or Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger every day. You know, that's just bullshit. It's always been complete bullshit, bro. So, witnessing bullshit every day is what Kilgree does, especially when he lives in the South. Mm-hmm. South, man. Any state in the South is the apex of the apex of if you're not white and rich and look like Brad Pitt, then fuck you kind of area. It's that. And if you don't like to go fishing every day and shoot your guns every day, which I mean I like shooting guns in that regard, but you know, if you don't give in to the prototypical American dream, then you're a bitch. So, there's my rant thus far. You know, maybe it's just about how people were raised. Maybe human nature doesn't play as big of a role as people think, and why our world is the way it is. Maybe so, maybe not, though. But people that argue for the maintaining and continued existence of like this capitalist structure, their argument, oh well, you know, it's human nature to be greedy and want more all the time. Well, that may be true, but do you know that other aspects of human nature we have used, rightfully so, culture, to override that nature because it was truly wrong, truly wrong. When a caveman wanted a cave woman, whether she wanted to or not, he would take her, right? Well, we started to realize that that was wrong. That used to be human nature at its core. But it is now a crime, rightfully so. It's called rape, right? Well, I think the same thing about greed, about profit, right? About treating your workers like shit, as just another object that makes what makes you rich, like robots, and that's it, and they don't deserve anything. Yeah, those little greedy ass bullshit aspects might be part of human nature, but they shouldn't be. We have the ability to override that with furthering our cultural development. Well, this election was a step backwards in that regard, and it's sad that like 60 million people or whatever wanted to take a step backwards. And you know, it could happen again in 2020, you know. So yeah, last 3 presidents won re-election, so now I can say that I hope that trend does not continue. So we can't go back to the days of Roosevelt, which I think it was one of the Roosevelts that got like 3 or 4 terms as president before term limits were established. But we still don't have term limits on Congress. You can be a congressman of a certain district or a senator of a state for as long as you can keep winning elections, and that is bullshit too. How can we have a term limit on being president, but not term limits on the motherfuckers that actually make our laws, you know? New people deserve an opportunity. I guarantee more millennials, which that's our generation, my generation, who should be in power in the masses. More of us would have a chance, right, when we are 35 years old, if there was term limits on Congress, you know. You know, there's an election every 2 years, so make the term limit 4 years, right? You can get reelected and only serve a potential total of 4 years as a United States or state senator, or like that, at least in the Senate, and make it to where in the actual House of Representatives, like 6 years or something like that. You know what I mean? Every 3 years or so. So, or they have midterms every 2 years, so 3 potential 2-year terms for congressmen, 2 potential 2-year terms for senators. So congressmen get a potential total of 6 years in elected office, and senators get a potential total of 4. I mean, I really don't think that's too much to ask, but nope. We still do not have term limits on Congress people, so that could be, it might not be the president that matters, it might be that. I don't know why progress is not being made. So there wasn't too much. There was some moral progress made under Obama, but not as much as there should have been, because there were still people in Congress that were impeding on that process, because they've been there for decades and decades and decades with the old bullshit mindsets of older generations before us. And if our generation gets a chance to be in office, then things would change for the better right now. And eventually millennials will get in office. It's only a matter of time, because time gets the people out of the way that should be out of the way and makes way for the new. And that's a continuing thing that you cannot prevent. It is a thing, and I think we're going to live in a world one day of being amiable and having a sense of reciprocity and having fair wages and healthcare and all that, and drop all the bullshit factors that we use to judge people on and all that. That world is coming one day, but it should already be here, right? Almost being in the prime of that world. But for I know the reason, but for some reason we're not. You know what I mean? Wink, wink. But I think my gut instinct is that this is a temporary setback that we might just have to endure as long as the world doesn't end under this douchebag, and we can make it to 2020 and potential 2024 if need be, then we can. But we immediately replace somebody like that with somebody way better, right? And maybe then the world will be the world of nice guys finish first, right? I've heard that phrase my whole life, and in movies and in real life politics and discussions, the nice guy finishes last. Well, nice guys might have to be a little bit aggressive in order to make it the opposite kind of world where we finish first, for once and for all. So get ready. There's a moral, socio-political, economic revolution coming. And people, just because Trump won, people think that revolution has been killed off. It's been postponed. It's been delayed, but not killed off. It's still coming. All these revolutions in life, they're going to happen, right? Nothing stays the same forever. Empires go through the stages and then eventually collapse. It happens. There is no universal empire that lasts forever, nor will there ever be. No matter how augmented our technology becomes to try to make it that way, it'll never happen. There will be repeated civil apocalypses for the rest of our existence as humans. Cycles and processes repeat and repeat and repeat. But the one we're in right now, we need to move forward in it and complete it eventually, instead of going backwards, right? So I never thought I would witness the day where I lived in a world where the pre-Civil War mentality was how we lived. The only difference being we have better technology in the world now, so people think it's not like that. when it kind of is. When you peel back the layers of the moral onion, it is like that. So, but it'll change, and we will go forward. And those who are oblivious to it, they're going to be the ones to fall. So let them remain in their little state of believing that their wealth and their great rewards that they get to go through in life without actually deserving it. Let them go ahead and think it's going to last forever for them and for their grandkids and their kids and their kids. It's going to change. And when it does, it's going to be an amazing thing. So, get ready. Anyway, back to this game. Mentally, I'm actually going positive while I'm bitching about life. I really didn't see that coming. Wow, finished 9 and 8. That is crazy. So yeah, I know I'm just a pathetic little video gamer, and that's not dissing other video gamers. I'm strictly singling myself out because I think I'm, I guess, in other people's minds, a unique, pathetic video gamer, right? That just happens to have some intellectual ability under his belt, and when they do bitch and moan about life, know how to do it. I didn't really expect a lot of viewers in the process. But I'll keep the stream going, keep playing. Maybe I'll talk about something else, who knows. But until then, I'm probably, just going to have to stay in a state of bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning. But rightful bitching and moaning, I believe. Sometimes bitching and moaning needs to happen. And we need it because we need to change this world for the better. And it took a lot of bitching and moaning and fighting and revolutions in order to make the progress we've already made thus far, right? When empires were under the rule of tyranny, it would start with just people at conversation level in houses and in the streets, bitching and moaning and bitching and moaning. That's where it starts. And then the bitching and moaning starts to bracket outwards. And then it becomes protesting, and then it becomes further action, which causes the state to further have to oppress their people in order to maintain control. And then the corruption comes out instead of being secretive. And then that's when revolution happens. So it starts with the bitching and moaning. So we need the bitching and moaning, to be honest. Bitching and moaning is needed right now, and we don't have enough of it. I thought we had enough of it this election, but we didn't. Somehow. Electorally, that is. But, it is what it is. The moral revolution has only been temporarily delayed. It will happen in full force. And it could be as ubiquitous and as strong and as global the next time. Just imagine like an American revolution, but globally. Or French kind of revolution, but globally. So it could be a World War III. Could be just, as much of just a revolution as it could be a war. You know what I mean? A revolution in lifestyle, revolution in morals, not just a revolution over territory and military power, like all the other wars really have been, bro. But could be a war for the future of human morality, the world that we should live in. Could just be that, more importantly than anything else. So we're going to see soon. I think within the next 20 years, something major is going to happen. Or something major at least is going to be set off by some kind of event, right? When World War I broke out, it was the assassination of the Archduke Ferdinand. It was the invasion of Poland, and before that, the ascension of Hitler, and how he usurped power. That whole thing started off World War II. The actual event that started off World War II was the invasion of Poland on September 1st, 1939. But wars have their events. Sometimes those events end up becoming the only major thing that happens is the very catalyst, right? But we haven't really seen that too much yet, you know. I need to put a camo on this sniper rifle right now. You know, and I could be far more specific about all my arguments, but I don't have somebody to actually be asking me those questions. I'm not gonna be my own interviewer right now and get really, really deep into the very nano-specific semantics of what I'm talking about. But if I were asked, then I would, right? So, if I had a fellow debater or an interviewer type, then I would, you know what I'm saying? And I have never been a sniper in Call of Duty, really. You know, it's not my thing, really, but I want to try it out. Again. Like, ooh, man, look at this guy, look at this guy. Oh, he got smashed right in front of me. Rip. Oh, he got me. How many kills? 1-04. Yay. Ow. Like I'm running right in the middle. Wow. Wow, really? I actually got a kill running out in the middle like that. That was way too tumultuous of an entrance there. There's that. Like that camo there. Bad ace. Really? Did my grenade kill end up being the winning kill? Who knows? Yep. Ooh. Nice. $9.12. Nice. Okay. View as new visitor. Motherfucking vacant, bro. Oh, I need to do this. I need to open some supply drops and get some more points and get a camo for a sniper rifle. Whew. 55 bonus parts. Like that, kinda. Put that on right now. What's this? Nothing good there. What about a line strike? Spider. Oh, it's nice. 775. Ooh, I like that. Until then, I'll use this. The reds. See if that camo was on here too, though. Arctic Wolf. There's that. So, I like that one a lot right there. Ranker. Alright, let's get back into it. Bog, baby. Bog is actually the map that I have the best sniping luck on thus far. Alright, time to get it in 10. Overgrown. The Reds. Are we the Reds right now? Nope. I have the Reds camo. And we're playing against the commies. I'm going to have to hard scope. Sorry. I'm probably going to get the ass for fucking hard scoping. But I must. Oh, somehow. Still finish positive, baby. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll take it any day. Probably play one more and then end the stream. Oh man. I got all that bitching out of my system, bro. Now I don't know what to say other than to just play the game right now. And that ends it. That will end the stream today. RIP the stream dream. Sorry about the bitching, but it was necessary.